Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for October 8th, 2025. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, you like me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, guys, you came to the right place. Hit the subscribe button. Also, if you've ever decided to become a member of my YouTube channel, just go onto my home screen, hit that join button. There's 3 different tiers to choose from, and as low as 99 cents gets you early access to my videos. You also get stickers for your comments and during live streams, and you also get monthly membership badges. So guys, whether you do or you don't, I appreciate you just watching. So with that being said, let's talk about the book that's on the hot seat, and that goes to Spider-Man 94. So before this came out, I was super excited about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like the TV show once again. And you do get that. But it was like some of the characters in here where I wasn't really super excited about. Like, we get Moreland. I'm not a big Moreland guy, and he seems to be the featured villain in this series. And I'm like, oh man, really? And then you get Kane, who's a clone, which I'm not necessarily against, but it's just not my favorite choice. You could do so many other different things. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it progresses. This one is 32 pages for the price of $4. The book that's on the rise, and I almost wind up missing this entirely because it's so low on the list, but this is Falcon and Dynomutt, Blue Falcon and Dynomutt issue 2. The first issue of this was absolutely awesome as you get to see the origin story of these characters, right? And I think that's something that you've never seen before when it comes to Blue Falcon. And this one really kind of tore at the heartstrings a little bit, or pulled at the heartstrings a little bit, I should say. And it was really well done. And it's written by Jimmy Palmiotti. And so when you get to the end of the first one, you're like, oh, I need to read the next issue. So I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it continues to deliver. It's 32 pages, and this one is $5. Coming in at number 10 is Action Comics issue 1091. So Mark Waid does write this book, and he has gone back in time where Clark is Superboy, right? So you're seeing basically the early adventures of Superboy and him developing his powers and being in high school and having somewhat of a relationship with Lana, and also he's coming across his first adversary in here. So we're gonna see how that turns out, but this is a really well told story. I've really enjoyed it so far, and same thing, I'm looking forward to seeing how Clark develops as a young superhero. So this one is 32 pages, and this one is $5. Coming in at number 9, we have Spider-Man and Wolverine. This is issue 6. So listen, this book has been maybe not the greatest story in the world, but if you want like this 90s vibe, right? If you want this action, if you want just great fighting, like this is the book for you. I mean, Wolverine and Spider-Man have been going at it at odds with each other for most of the series, and they've come across this bad guy by the name of Dread Shadow, and now they're fighting him as well. And it's just, again, it's just one of those books where you just read it, you have a good time with it. Kind of reminds you why you fell in love with comics in the first place when you were a kid, because you love the pictures and you love the action, right? You didn't necessarily care about the story all that much. So this one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Coming in at number 8, we have Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. This is issue 3. So based off of what happened in the last issue, the last Kryptonite made Superman super huge. And in order to kind of nullify that, they had to give him the next Kryptonite, which made him small. But at the very end of that last issue, not only did it make him small, but it made him into Superboy once again. but does it continue to de-age him, right? Does he become like super kid and super toddler and super baby? And so what do our superheroes have to do this before he's not even born anymore? I don't know if that's where they go with that, but I love learning about all these different kryptonites. It's a great book. It's 32 pages, $6. So before we come into number 7, just wanted to let you guys know, most new issue 1s are not discussed anymore on my top 10 most anticipated. I might highlight maybe the biggest one that's coming out for the week, but if you want to check that out, you got to check out First Issue Fridays, where I highlight all of the new number 1 comic books that are coming out for that comic book week. And these are kind of like mostly my most anticipated ongoing series, just to clarify that. All right, so here we go. Coming in at number 7 is Green Lantern Corps. This is issue 9. Listen, when it comes to this book and Hal Jordan, it's been really good. It's been crossing over with these Star Breakers and the emotional spectrum and all these different things. And I just really liked it. I like how it's kind of going back to almost in a way where I would say Jeff Johns wrote Green Lantern. So that's kind of the way I look at it as well. And this one is surrounding also Kelly, who is the one that wears that power glove. So I'm curious to see how this continues to develop. This one is 32 pages and this one is $4. Coming in at number 6, we have Nemesis Forever issue 2. This is done by Mark Millar and Dark Horse. So if you've never read Nemesis, I would say go back and read the trades. They're very short trades. They're like 4 issues each, and I think there's like maybe 3 of them. But nevertheless, I love Nemesis. He's an evil Batman. Instead of wearing black, he wears white though, and he is just absolutely an asshole. He gets pleasure at causing mayhem and torturing people and all these different things. And now it's just, he doesn't want to take over just like towns or cities. He literally now is at the point where he wants to take over the world. And you've been through hell and back with this character as you've seen him kind of rise and fall and then rise again. It's a well-told story. One of Mark Millar's probably best stories in my opinion here. So check it out if you can. 32 pages, $5. Coming in at number 5, we have Everything Dead and Dying issue 2. I really loved issue 1. I know this is a mini series. This would be cool if it was kind of like an ongoing, but this is about a zombie apocalypse, but it's so done in a different way where this guy is immune to this apocalypse or to this whatever happened, and these zombies are just stuck in their everyday routines as if they were human. So they relive their day like every single day, but they're all decayed and decrepit and they don't hurt anybody, right? And then at the end of the last issue, you wind up coming across others that are still alive, and something happens to some of the zombies there and maybe to our main character. I don't know, but this first issue was really well done. Looking forward to this issue. 32 pages, $5. Coming in at number 4, if you guys have been looking to jump on Conan, this is the time to do it. We got Conan the Barbarian. This is issue 25. So this is an extra size 25th issue featuring a standalone story. So this is a perfect jumping on point for readers. It's written by Jim Zub. This is it. I mean, you'll get a full feel of what this character is here. This one is going to be 48 pages for the price of $6. I definitely recommend it, guys. All right, here we go. Top 3. We got some banger books right now. Coming in at number 3, this could have been number 1, goes to Absolute Batman issue 13. Everyone's going to be glamoring over this book because it has Catwoman in there. That's right, Absolute Catwoman. And then this is Batman's final showdown with Bane. So not only do you get Catwoman, you get the fight with Bane and Batman. You're going to get those pretty variant covers as well. And let's see how I guess Catwoman acts in this book and where she's come from and all this other stuff. But I think this is a good one, right? So this one is 32 pages for the price of $5. So, like I said, I don't highlight too many number ones on most anticipated anymore because it's for that series now. But this number one has to be on my list this week. And you'd be surprised that it's not number one on my list, but this is DCKO issue 1. It comes in at number 2 this week. I am excited for this book. I really am. I mean, you can all say that, yeah, I might be a little skeptical because it's an event, but this event just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, right? Obviously, we got heroes versus other heroes, and they're trying to become the King Omega, and every time you defeat another person, this Omega energy is released from them, making them stronger, right? And as the months go by in the fall and in the winter, we're gonna get closer to the winter here. We got brackets, it's a March Madness style. I think it's great. I think it gets people excited, right? I think there's blind bags for this. So this is going to be really badass. This one is 48 pages for the price of $6. So remember, guys, after number 1, we are not done, as I do have a few noteworthy comics to talk about this week. And my number 1 most anticipated comic of the week goes to Transformers issue 25. I debated for about 5 minutes if DCKO or Transformers should be number 1. But for them to release Transformers issue 25 with the new creative team at the same time as DCKO is huge. It makes it for a gigantic comic book week, let me tell you. But with Robert Kirkman here and Dan Mora on this, I think this is going to be a pretty awesome issue. And I think it's going to still continue to be an awesome series. But they got big shoes to fill. But I think if there's somebody that can tell a broader story, it's going to be Robert Kirkman. Now, I think it might be a little bit decompressed just because Robert Kirkman, you know, that's how his storytelling is. But I am anxiously awaiting this, and I cannot wait to see what happens here. So when it comes to Transformers, it's like one of my favorite properties, so that's why it gets that number 1 nod this week. So this one is 40 pages for the price of $5. Here we go. We got those noteworthy comic books. We got a few of them to talk about. We kick it off with Marvel, and we have the continuation of Ultimate Black Panther. This is issue 21, followed up by the Avengers, who are on issue 31 as they're still dealing with Kane. And then we have Marvel Knights, The World to Come. This is issue 3. So the only Marvel books I'm highlighting this week. Then we move on to DC Comics. We have Batman and Robin, issue 26, followed by Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. This is issue 9. And then we have Batman Dark Patterns, which is always a really good series, but it's getting ready to wrap up. This is issue 11 on that. And then we have the continuation of Supergirl. This is issue 6, which has overall been a pretty good series. I just didn't like the last issue with the pets. And then we have Aquaman. This is issue 10. All right, and then we move on to those indie books. And when it comes to the indies, we have the Return of the Sacrificers. This is issue 16. We finally get the return of this. Oh my gosh, we get to see, is it the Pigeon? Was that what he was? Versus like the main god here. So that could be interesting. And then we have G.I. Joe, the Real American Hero, issue 321. Followed by Blood and Thunder. This is issue 6. And then if you love Heavy Metal Magazine, we have Heavy Metal issue 3. So there you guys have it. If you haven't checked out First Issue Fridays yet, you'll see all those new #1s that are coming out for this same week. There's a lot of them. So there you have it, guys. There are my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for October 8th, 2025. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to coming out for this particular week? There's a few really good books, but otherwise, when it comes down to the ongoing books, it kind of drops off a little bit. But as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'll leave you First Issue Fridays to check out those newest issue ones. And as always, guys, support those local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always read your comics so we can have a great comic conversation. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon.